he gave you a reason to feel optimistic about this team, that even though there was like a really itsy tiny flicker of hope that they could maybe make a little bit of noise in the playoffs, he was the main reason why you had that little bit of hope. And now it's gone. The season is done. He's done. The Celtics, done.
Yep. And
We're
they'll
going
go
to
the whole
see
season without help.
analyst.
Shut up. I'll just shut up.
Hey, you got a 10-day contract left for you, Max?
I got nothing, big fella. I got nothing at all. I heard the news with Jaylen going down, and it was stunning. And I think you guys are saying now, I think only one team I could think in the NBA right now could possibly do that, and that would be maybe Brooklyn. You could lose Kyrie, or you could lose Harden, but if you had Durant and either one of those guys, you'd have a possibility of winning. But with the Celtics having Jaylen Brown out of the lineup, being your number 2 scorer, and sometimes being your best player, especially, and I think more so on the defensive end, losing him puts a huge hole in what you want to do.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the Celtics, obviously, and how this is going to impact them. But a big part of me feels for Jaylen, having his season end like this. I mean, he's been that one guy more nights than frankly I think anyone else on this team. He has played and competed at a high level, and for his season to end like this, come on.
Sherrod, if I had to name an MVP of the team this year, it would have been
Jaylen
Jaylen Brown. Yeah. Most
I
improved on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who was driving them more nights than not. And honestly, like I said, a huge force of stability when Tatum was down.
But guys, what's my take? Okay, we've been doing this long enough for you guys to know. Blessing. This is a blessing for the Celtics. Okay, and I'll tell you why.
No, it's not.
And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Let me tell you why. And then you can
John
yell at
gets
me.
so silly
Let me
with
tell you why.
Definition
And
of
then you
the
can yell at
word
me.
blessing now.
Let me tell you why, and then you can yell at me. Okay? This
I know what you're
season
gonna say.
was going nowhere. This season could have ended with a 4-game sweep to a clearly superior team and talk of Brad's head rolling. Who are you going to trade? Blah, blah, blah. This is a great built-in excuse for whatever happens now. What were you going to do without Jaylen anyway? Done. Ball game. Wrap it up. See you next year. All of the little teeny excuses along the way, they were real. COVID, injuries, they had the worst luck of any team this year. All of that stuff is real. They still should have probably played better than they've been playing. Built-in excuse for what was inevitably going to happen, which was a really embarrassing exit in the playoffs, just less so now. So this saves them some criticism. This saves them a lot of criticism that they would have gotten in the offseason. Because now what are you going to do? No Jaylen. Easy.
And I use one word here.
Please don't say idiot.
No. Brilliant. That's what I'm saying. Brilliant. Because that's true. If there was, it would have been like that game that they were down to OKC and they rallied back and almost won that game. I was hoping they lost that game because I didn't want them to come play. They had played so poorly. You don't need to be like, well, we came back and we won that game and we gutted it out and didn't want to hear that. Same thing with this season. If you have Jaylen out, now everything that you wanted to talk about before with this team and the depth and two stars you have, you can't do that. So there is a built-in excuse, and that is a legitimate. I hadn't thought about it, but that's a legitimate.
How did we think this was going to go with Jaylen?
Wait.
If this were a team with, Gordon, put it this way, Gordon's injury last year hurt way more than Jaylen's this year. Gordon's injury derailed a potential championship team, or at least a team that should have gotten to the finals. That sucked. This is okay, fine. They're out. They're dead. This team's dead men walking right now. So again,
but this impacts next year too.
So hold on, before we
not
get
really
next year,
3 to 5 months.
before we get into that.
Last year it was August when this happened for Romeo. This is May. He'll be ready. Even on the long view of this injury, he's going to be ready in time for next year. He's not going to, it'll be close. But so you're not talking about Romeo.
It's going to be close. It's going to limit how much he can improve this offseason, what he can do. It's his non-shooting hand, which is
It's
good.
not
But
ideal.
at the same time, I don't think there's anything good about it. I don't think you can paint it that way. And again, if we're talking about this preventing possible needed changes or delaying those, I don't think that's a good thing at all.
If Kevin Durant can sign a supermax deal with a torn Achilles, if Durant can sign a supermax deal with a torn Achilles, Jaylen Brown can get traded in the offseason if that was in your plans with a wrist injury. We're not talking about something that's going to limit him for his life going forward. It's a wrist injury. It's to his non-shooting hand.
It's a significant one, though. If it's that Romeo one, I mean, we kept waiting for Romeo. Like, where is he? Where is he?
Well, Romeo went missing. That added on to his time off the team.
Romeo and Jaylen, I think those are two different conversations when you think about it. But I just believe now that you look at this team, and I mean, it's just too many guys getting hurt. I mean, I am not sure. Rob Williams, does he stay hurt?
Well, what's the point now?
I mean, that's the thing. He stays hurt, and you traded him. Danny essentially traded Daniel Tice, so the Time Lord could play minutes.
Yeah,
but he hasn't been available, and that's hurt this team too, because there are many nights I think that this team lost games that if Daniel Tice had been with them, they would have won those games, because he was that solid when it came to defending, shooting, rebounding, setting picks. Whereas Rob Williams has been up and down. He does have talent, and he's probably going to break my field goal percentage record, which has been there for about 40-something years. But
come on, man, keep it real.
He's not going to qualify. But still, just the fact that he hasn't been available, and that has hurt you. I don't know if it's bad luck, but what team hasn't had bad luck this year? When you think about injuries and all, what team? You give me a team. OKC, what they did, sending Horford home, said, we're going to pay you $30 million, and we need you to go just come to the gym every 2 weeks and, get on the exercise bike. Boy, America is a great freaking country. I tell you.
The highest paid practice player in NBA history.
This is why I need to say why I disagree with John's blessing take here. This injury, obviously, yes, it's an excuse. But the only thing that could have happened to the Celtics in the playoffs was that they could have proven me wrong. I already believed that they were toast, so I don't really need an additional excuse for them to lose in the playoffs or in the play-in. I already thought they were going to. The only thing they could have done was proven me wrong and proven, in my opinion, proven most fans wrong who probably didn't believe in them at this point anyways. So you know what? Maybe now that they are fully healthy and we can see what they do here, maybe we're okay with bringing back the whole band and see if they can put a healthy season together. Now you don't know. Now you're right. They're going to go quietly into the night, and you'll hope that Jaylen Brown makes a full recovery. I'm sure that he will. I don't know how it changes their offseason plans if they had any with him. And now you pretty much say, like you said, John, oh, well, that's a good excuse for, I guess, like the final, like years from now, we'll look back on that season like, oh, well, they lost Jaylen Brown. Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs, they didn't go far. Fine. But everyone knows what this team was made of through 68 games or wherever we are with Jaylen Brown on the team. They weren't good enough with Jaylen Brown. They were, a lot of people, and myself included, thought they were soft out there most nights. They were the less aggressive team. They didn't try hard enough. All those things are still true, whether or not Jaylen Brown gets hurt or doesn't get hurt. So I don't really know what changes. And when you're talking about next season, now you're going into next season, I guess with the same roster, but with the same questions. So what changes? It's an excuse for what? That they don't go to Eastern Conference Finals? They weren't going to go anyways.
The loser stank could be a lot worse on them if they got wiped with the full lineup and Jaylen and Jayson and Rob and Fournier, and they got wiped by Brooklyn or Philly in round one or whoever they played. That would have been.
Now if they get wiped, that's going to be the first excuse. Sure.
Hi guys, Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.